Did you know the legendary movie Fight Club actually lost money when it first hit theaters? Today, that basement brawl and Tyler Durden's anarchist rants are pop culture gospel. But back in 1999, audiences stayed away, and the studio took a multi-million-dollar hit. And Fight Club isn't Brad Pitt's only surprise flop. In this deep dive, we're breaking down Brad Pitt's movie paychecks and how much he made for each role, which blockbusters made studios rich, and which so-called sure things quietly tanked at the box office. Brad's first shot at stardom came with The Dark Side of the Sun. It cost $2 million to make, went straight to video, and Brad only pocketed $2,000 for the whole thing. Next came Cutting Class, a low-budget slasher that ate up $1.5 million, skipped theaters too, and paid Brad $12 grand, barely enough for rent in Hollywood. He hustled again with Johnny Suede, shot for $500,000, scraped in $90 grand at the box office, and gave him a tiny check for $14,000. But then came Thelma and Louise, the breakout that made him a name overnight, though not rich just yet. That road movie turned $16 million into $45 million, but Brad's cut was only $6 grand. He kept pushing with Cool World, a weird blend of animation and live action that burned through $30 million and flopped with 14 back. At least Brad got a real check this time, $500 grand. Things finally clicked with A River Runs Through It, a $12 million bet that landed $66 million worldwide, and Brad's paycheck jumped to $350,000, a sign that Hollywood finally knew his face could sell tickets. After that early lift, Brad took on California, which burned through $9 million and only crawled back $2.5 million, but at least it kept him moving, with a $500,000 payday. Then came the 1-2 punch that cemented him as a serious box office draw. Seven was a brutal ride that cost $34 million and exploded to over $328 million worldwide. Brad pulled in $4 million for that masterpiece of dread. Right behind it was 12 Monkeys, another twisted mindbender with a $29 million budget that spun up $168 million and earned Brad $2.8 million plus his first Oscar nod. He kept that momentum going with Sleepers, a dark crime drama that cost $44 million and paid him $10 million to help push it past $165 million at the box office. Then, 7 years in Tibet rolled in, $70 million to shoot on remote mountains, $130 million back in tickets, and Brad pocketed $10 million for playing the world traveler. Meet Joe Black followed, $90 million budget, $142 million gross, and $17.5 million straight into Brad's bank account for playing it smooth. When Fight Club landed, nobody saw the twist coming. $65 million to make, only $100 million back when it first hit theaters. A disappointment then, but it blew up into a cult juggernaut later. Brad still pocketed $17.5 million for turning that basement brawl into a forever classic. Right after the dust of Fight Club, Brad jumped into Snatch, Guy Ritchie's gritty crime flick that cost $10 million, pulled in $83 million worldwide, and paid Brad $6 million to steal scenes with a single punchline. Then came The Mexican, a quirky road caper that burned $57 million, earned nearly $148 million, and added another $10 million to Brad's name. He doubled down with Spy Game, an espionage thriller that swallowed up $115 million to make, crawled to $143 million at the box office, and handed Brad $17.5 million for playing the long game. Ocean's 11 flipped the switch. $85 million budget, a monster $450 million back, and Brad cashed $30 million just for looking cool in Vegas. Next, he suited up for Troy, An ancient war epic that demanded $185 million and came roaring back with nearly $500 million worldwide. Brad walked away with $17.5 million and an immortal six-pack that sold posters everywhere. After Troy, Brad stayed slick with Ocean's 12. $110 million budget, $363 million gross, and $23 million for Brad to keep the suits fresh. Mr. and Mrs. Smith hit next. Same budget, almost $500 million back, $20 million to Brad, and endless tabloid headlines. He shifted gears with Babel, $25 million to make, $135 back, $5 million for Brad's serious side. The assassination of Jesse James burned $30 million, earned just $15, but Brad still got a cool million for a cult Western classic. Burn After Reading cost $37, grossed $168, paid Brad $8.5 to play dumb brilliantly. Then Benjamin Button, $167 budget, $335 back, $20 million in Brad's pocket for aging backward. Inglourious Basterds clocked in at $70 million, grossed over $320, and gave Brad $10 million for a scalping good time. He went artsy again with The Tree of Life, $32 million budget, $61 back, $3.5 million for Brad. Moneyball needed $50 million, made $111, and paid Brad $12.5 for swinging for the fences. Killing Them Softly spent $15 million, pulled $39, $5 million for Brad to break bones quietly. Then came World War Z, a massive $269 budget turned into $540 worldwide, and Brad scored $37 million for saving the planet. Fury cost $80 million, brought in $211, and Brad pocketed $13 to command a tank. He reunited with Angelina in By the Sea, $10 million budget, barely $4 back, $2 million for Brad, and an awkward press tour. The Big Short, $50 million to make, $133 back, $9 million to Brad for betting on the crash. Allied burned through $113, barely made $119, $12 million for Brad's spy work. Ad Astra went sci-fi, $100 million cost, $135 back, $11 million to Brad to chase his father into deep space. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood brought Tarantino back, $90 million budget, $392 at the box office, $10 million for Brad, and an Oscar on his shelf. He hopped a train in Bullet Train, $90 million to shoot, $239 back, $20 million for Brad to throw punches in Neon Chaos. Now over to you. What shocked you the most? Fight Club's early box office stumble? The massive payday for World War Z? Or maybe By the Sea, burning millions for almost nothing? Drop your pick in the comments.